Bitcoin will drop 40%, according to Arthur Hayes. Now, who's Arthur Hayes? This guy's one of the OGs in terms of macros. Good little companion with his best mate Felix. Mad love for that, bro, in the live stream. Pulled that one out. So what do we mean about this drop? Well, I'm going to tell you what Bitcoin is likely to do and what is going to happen after the ETF. You see, we've got this story right now. I've been using these glasses today, that's why I keep on cleaning them. They're the best glasses. The ETF itself, the funny story is this. When they buy the Bitcoin, it's going to be taking supply away from the marketplace. But do you not think the supply has already been absorbed? Don't you think they've already purchased the Bitcoin? This is why they're all running with the idea of selling the news. Now, granted, Bitcoin will make a move to the upside. I am favoring the movement higher. I'm telling you what Arthur Hayes is talking about, and we're going to dive into that very, very shortly. Okay? I'm also going to talk about the fact that BlackRock has also pretty much got the go-ahead from NASDAQ. Now, NASDAQ was the nail in the coffin. Why? Because the NASDAQ is effectively going to be talking about or releasing the idea of a sharing surveillance towards the SEC. Because that's what the SEC want. They want transparency. They want to know who's buying Bitcoin and who's selling it. You know, all the authorized partners, or should I say participants, always get it wrong, man. For God's sake, it's the end of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Traders Reality. My name is Tino. I go on YouTube near enough every single day and talk about the good old hybrid system in relation to Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, Forex, the indices, and we throw a little bit of exo charts in there, depth of market, and all the fun and games behind order flow, just to help you guys understand how to effectively try and take a profit from good old market maker. Now, we're going into a very interesting evening, so get ready for some madness. I'm going to be talking about some altcoins. I'm going to be talking about a strategy within the hybrid system that you guys can take home with you and practice over the weekend. Because it's going to be a fun weekend. Trust me. We're going to see some flavor. All right? So, Dr. Vector has now entered the building. Let's have a conversation, guys. All right, then. Arthur Hayes. Just so that I can eliminate any bullshit that comes into the comment section, let's explore what this guy has said. He talks about a 30% correction in Bitcoin amid a vicious washout. As we go down into the article, he talks about Bitcoin could plunge 20 to 30%. That would quickly rebound. That's good, okay? Where do I get 40% from? I'm going all the way down to this. If this scenario plays out as Hayes outlined, Bitcoin will correct a healthy 20% to 30% from early March prices. Now, that's according to the blog post. The decline could be as much as 40% if Bitcoin rallies to 60 to 70,000 in the coming weeks. Let's work out the logic of a 30% or a 40% drop if Bitcoin does hit 60 or 70K. See, I told you, man, I'm not negative. I'm just giving you the information. That would be 60K-ish, all right? A 40% drop would take it all the way back down to 35,000-ish. The same spot that everybody's all pumped about Bitcoin going to 50, 60K. It's all psychological. Why is it if Bitcoin comes back to this point, it's all shits? But yet, at this point, everyone is pumped. You see, it's psychological. That's it. Every single stream that I've done this week has been focusing on a way of understanding how to exploit the market. The common theme or the takeaway would be to understand the psychology of price, but focus on people's behavior. You want to see some fun? All right. See that little pump that we saw from that tweet? Poor unfortunate souls. About $170 million worth of longs were opened at 44,126. Why would you go long? Psychology. People need a reason to buy. Okay? Now, Bitcoin, in the daily time frame, will confirm tonight if this candle is proof that Bitcoin is going to go higher. I made a projection this week for the guys in the platinum section endorsing the idea of Bitcoin going to 48K. Okay? That's my projection. Will it happen this week? Will it finish exactly? Well, I've got until Sunday to realize that. I give it a week because of how volatile Bitcoin is. Now, if we do get any news announcements, because according to sources, today is pretty much the day when we should be knowing whether the ETF is going to be approved or not. But we've also got deadlines that technically 13th to the 15th. Sorry, we've got 13 ETFs and the 15th of January would be the deadline. Articles are coming out. What if they reject it? It doesn't matter if they reject it because it doesn't mean that it's not going to be approved. It's just been rejected on a certain ground. What would that be? Whether it's the sharing surveillance agreement, whether it's needing more information, whether it's making sure that the authorized participants have got the authority, how they're going to be buying the ETF, X, Y, and Z, which leads me over to this article over here. Recycled cash or fresh flows. What does that mean? The article goes on to talk about the difference between normal ETFs and this crypto ETF, okay? The thing is, these authorized participants, they are banks. They cannot buy the crypto. That means they have to put up the money, create cash crates, and then go to authorized intermediaries to effectively buy the Bitcoin, okay? That's taking supply away from the marketplace. So let's put two and two together. We know that if JP Morgan, Fidelity, Bank of America, Coinbase, whoever's going to be doing, or BlackRock, whoever's going to be picking up this ETF, they're going to need to pick up some Bitcoin because you can have synthetic ETFs or you can have physical ETFs. Now, this is why Grayscale is trying to push to convert its trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF. That's 600,000 Bitcoin, man. And they get the confirmation for that, happy days. Now, which one would you be favoring? In my opinion, it's always going to be the physical one. Because it's all about the value of the supply. And you're relying on the idea of everybody getting in on the move because the ETF has been approved. Mark my words, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin is going to fly on the ETF, but it will be a sell the news event. Hold on, Tino, I'm perplexed, my friend. Why would it be a sell the news event? Come on, man. Do you honestly think Bitcoin can only go up? I mean, let's be honest. It has been going up quite significantly, banking 164% gains from last year. Or should I say it's up 164% and banking another 4% going into the start of January. Now, the stock market hasn't really had a good start, okay? And usually the year itself is shown in January. So if January is a shitstorm, then the rest of the year is probably going to be a shitstorm. According to some hedge fund manager, where is he? Check this out. The gentleman goes on to say, let me go pull it up for you. Mr. Lee. Tom Lee comes in and says that this year tends to play out in January, meaning the turmoil in the first weeks of trading is telling us to brace for a challenging year. He finalizes his note to the investors saying, buckle up. And that's the proper safety protocol, even if you expect a soft landing. Well, word on the street is suggesting that we've got lower unemployment, higher jobs, average hourly earnings are going up. That's only meaning what? People are spending money. That only means that this figure right here is going to be a terrible reading if it actually factors in less people claiming benefit. If there's less people claiming benefit, that means more people are in work. That means more money is being earned. That means more money could be spent. But the actual ISM data came in showing a less of a reading in the economy. All right, so the Fed needs to decrease the interest rate so it doesn't actually harm the economy. We're at that tether right now where it's literally make or break. Okay, can the US survive what it's experienced with these high interest rates, which then leads me on to the pivot point, which is effectively the Fed pivot. And that's what's coming for Bitcoin. So, Bitcoin, ETF, approval or not, we've got interest rates, which means that the Fed pivot is likely to happen. And when are we going to see these interest rate cuts? We've also got a Bitcoin halving coming into play. We've got inflation toying around the 3.2%. Whether it's going to go up or down, the Fed's a little bit cautious about that bag. Too many events. The ETF is the only thing that's going to bring Bitcoin up. Once the ETF has been fully endorsed and everybody starts using it, then we've got the problem of people actually picking up the ETF. So if you remember the ProShares Bitcoin ETF not so long ago that got listed, traded to a value of 1.4 billion as a market cap, and that was back in October, I believe it was, 2021, if I'm correct. Well, it's now still at around 1.3, 1.6 billion. Not that much now, is it? Granted, we've had so much happening, it's not really getting the interest. But all we're relying on, because a lot of people right now, this is what they're doing, excuse me. A lot of people right now are just getting into trades because they're anticipating the ETF. The move will be very fast, it will be very aggressive. Just please take some fucking profit, all right? Bitcoin is up quite aggressively and it's not stopped. We would love a little bit of a correction. How many of you now are happier buying Bitcoin at 43? And I've seen the videos, I've seen the comments. If you're not bullish, you're foolish. All right, cool. That is a really responsible way to protect people, okay? I get the idea, you know, go long. Look, I can turn around and say Bitcoin's a 500,000. I can say that. Why? Because I'm bullish on Bitcoin. You know, it's got a supply. Does that mean you got to buy as much Bitcoin as you can? Bitcoin can slump from this point. People will still say I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. Don't care. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Bitcoin hasn't had Wall Street money, ladies and gentlemen. It's not had it. All right? We've got institutional firms, yeah, but we ain't got Wall Street. We ain't got big bad boy names stepping up, JP Morgan. We haven't got BlackRock buying up Bitcoin, you know, continuously like what we know of. What I'm trying to convey to you all is this. We will know when Bitcoin really gets the push. And I would hope that all this anticipation from the ETF is going to lead Bitcoin to make a significant gain, which it will. Bitcoin will make a move higher. It will. I believe Bitcoin will gun towards the 55, 60K range, okay? But that is where, at top side, we're talking, right, from this point right here, ladies and gentlemen, we go up. We take another 40%, that's like a 210, 20% on top of its already mad move up, okay? 2023 saw Bitcoin rise 164%. You add another 40% to that bad boy, you're up 200% for this asset, where the unrealized profits are just beyond, they are just wild right now. Where's the profit taking? In my opinion, this is what's going on. They're accumulating Bitcoin, waiting for the ETF. So Bitcoin will do the following: spike up and then just rip back down. The rip back down is what we need to be paying attention to, okay? Because it's the masses. All the happy days, all the guys sit at coffee shops, meet up their mates when they're waiting to chat to the bird at the bar and like, yo, man, well, should I go up to her? Yeah, man, you just calm yourself down, man. Just walk up to her and just, you know, introduce yourself. You know, let's get your mind off things. You know, what's Bitcoin saying? Oh, yeah, man, Bitcoin, it's fucking gonna go to the moon, man. This is what this is, all right? If a tweet can make Bitcoin sweep up and down, well, we're fucked. Simple. I say it all the time. And I want you to try and get that realization in your minds, ladies and gentlemen, so that you understand that this game is very serious. It's very manipulative. We've got these guys up here hoping for the best, all right? They are in denial that Bitcoin can't go any higher. They could come through. But how low will Bitcoin go before these guys start taking profits? Because you've got to realize that if these guys start taking money off the table, that means market maker is missing out on an opportunity. Where is he going to close his longs? Because when these guys need to get rid of their positions, what are they doing? They're buying to cover. Okay? When you sell, you buy. When you buy, you sell. Now, I've got some good news. Coinbase is planning a pivotal acquisition that will allow it to launch crypto derivatives in the EU. UK ain't got a chance because we're not in the EU anymore. But that's good news for Coinbase. So anyone that's trading Coinbase or holding Coinbase stock, that's another revenue. That's another market that they can attack. That's more trading. That's more liquidity. That's more open interest. That's higher prices. That's lower prices. That's activity in cryptocurrency. So look, take this. This is no different to the Bitcoin ETF. Anyone that's invested in Coinbase, go and do a little bit of due diligence on this. Find out more about when it's going to launch it. Maybe pick up a few shares. Maybe dive into exactly what it is they're going to be offering. What's the leverage? How lucrative is it going to be for the traders in the EU? Are they going to come across lots of high fees because they can launch something? All great. But if it's too expensive to trade, people are just going to stay where they are. Okay? You're an investigator when it comes to buying and selling stock. You're speculating whether it goes up or down based on a number of events. Here is event one, okay? Bitcoin ETF event, another event. What's going on? Well, NASDAQ has put the filing forward. That's all happy days, okay? We've got a deadline coming up. SEC's got the pressure right now. In the past 10 years, they've been refusing Bitcoin ETFs. Now it's all backs to the wall when you've got BlackRock looking at them going, come on, man. You're going to get paid on this, so please just get it done and dusted. We've got a bag of Bitcoin that we need to offload. We need the volatility. Someone's going to put out a tweet. Bang. It's all calculated to get you to put your money down. Isn't it such a fantastic thing? FOMO. The fear of missing out is fucking real. That's why people are saying, if you're not bullish, you're foolish. Okay? Well, look, yeah, if you're not bullish, you're foolish. But you're foolish if you're blind bullish. How long are you going to be able to absorb Bitcoin's treachery? ETF doesn't get approved. Oh, fuck. How foolish are the bulls now? I'm trying to put it into a perspective in your mind so that you're somewhat critical about going in and just saying, yeah, I'm going to go in for the ETF. Because the same way price goes up, it's the same way it comes down. You want the proof? Okay. Approve the ETF and then we're good to go. Then we'll start looking at prices with Bitcoin. Holders, different story. You're factoring in a number of events and way more things that can happen. Okay? Tomorrow we could hear about Microsoft picking up Bitcoin. It might be out of the blue. And if you're in a trade already and you're holding Bitcoin and it's at this current price point and you are long from, say, 32, well, Bitcoin then shoots up to 56. You are laughing, bro. You don't need to sell your nan's lung. All right? That's what we got to really understand. Now that we're done with all this news, chat, and all that, well, I got this one for you. How likely is the US SEC to give early approval? It's either going to be on Friday or early next week. Could you imagine? Could you imagine it gets approved after the live stream? Could you imagine? I mean, I'm just talking shit right now, but could you imagine if that would happen? That would be proof that this little button that I've got here actually works. You know? I've got a button that connects me to several exchanges with many, many market makers. We've got a good few friends in the exchanges. They've given me this, but it's basically Electronic Central Network, ECN, which allows me to effectively get the same price feeds as all the banks. I press a couple of buttons if I want to influence price to go up or down. Okay? So, you know, it's like, I'll give you an example. What was it that we went on? Was it with Solana, I think it was? No, actually, let's do Ethereum here. So I shared this projection today on Ethereum to get people to understand where I'm expecting Bitcoin and Ethereum to go. And this is my target. I'm waiting for 2,363. Now, this area here is a stop zone, all right? And earlier on today, I had to press the button to avoid the stop zone from being placed. So if we just quickly go over to Ethereum right now, you can see that's where we are. Hold on a second. Where is it? Yeah. So my stop zone was, in principle, it was at the 2,201, and 2,201 puts us right here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, just inside of this zone. So I had to press the button just so that it wouldn't trigger and actually reverse price back up. So, you know, that's the power of this thing that I've got. Okay, I'll show you, man. Where is... Well, I can't disconnect it, but... Sorry, man, I can't show it you, but I've got an agreement with market makers to effectively, you know, influence price in some way, shape, or form. All right? If you don't believe me, and you might think this guy's full of shit. Would you know? Would you know? How would they know? They're never gonna know. No, they ain't never gonna know. Anyways, so with that being said, back into Bitcoin, back into Bookmap. Let's have a conversation. We've had our fun. Let's work out what's going on. Zoom out. What have we got? Lots of trading. Lots of very little orders coming into play. All right. Steve and the gang are starting to come in and load up. And we've got some, look at that. Oh, God. Look at that sweep. Okay. Now it's starting to get interesting. Woo. That'd be good. Okay. So top side of Bitcoin, your ranges for interest. We're talking 45,000 with 496 Bitcoin orders. Just before that, sell limit orders coming into play. Now, bear with me a second. I did see someone super chat for a second. Bear with me a sec. Hold on a second. Tino, when you have a little bit of time, can you tell me what do you think of Prometheum Prodigy? PMPY. Okay. If you want your altcoins, let's get with some likes, and then I'm going to talk about, whilst you guys are doing the likes for the live stream, you know, the algorithm and what have you, okay, I'm going to introduce you to a strategy, which is the block trade, okay? You've been hearing me talk about it, and this is what I use majority of the time to give out my trade setups, projections, by focusing on specific vector candles that present psychology of people's behavior and the structure of the candlestick, okay? Want that? Likes up to 1,000, and let's get with the flavor. So, PMPY. Let me get to that for a second for the gentleman. Let's have a look. PMPY. What have we got? Prodigy. I'm a fire starter. Here we go. What have we got here? Quite a choppy asset, my friend. I feel bad when you super chat and the asset doesn't really, it moves. Look, you can see it's been recently listed. It's moved up. Now, if the ETF does come into play, it's going to be a very fast mover, but it's quite choppy. I don't like these wicks, but there is a strategy behind it. You can trade into these wicks because these are huge imbalances. People are sat up here waiting for orders or trapped in orders, hoping that they can get back to break even, or there's sell orders up there. So in other words, there's margins all over the place, okay? So just when you're looking at this, for a person that's holding this as a long-term play, happy days. We're going to be focusing primarily on total market cap for the altcoins. But then, of course, if Bitcoin keeps moving up, people are buying, money's coming into crypto, it's logically going to step back into any asset, right? That's how I see it, okay? But just take your time with it because, look, you've got lots of wicks. It's very hard to know where you stand with this. That's why I avoid trading these sort of assets. And only just, if I'm going to buy it, then I'm just going to hold it and never look at it, okay? What's going on here? I hope that helps you, my man. Okay, so can alts make a new all-time high? Sol and Audi. If Bitcoin goes up to 55, 60 levels, or is it going to be a one-man show? Okay. Here's Audi, right? Climbs, consolidates. We've got cycles coming into play. as one of the OGs in the Discord put it quite clearly, Victoria, the easiest and the hardest thing to understand about the hybrid system, the most simple yet effective, is the levels and the cycles. If you crack that, there's a high probability that you're going to be on the right side of the move. The only way you're not going to be on the right side of the move is if you use too much leverage and you get shaken out, because that is only reason why traders get caught up in trading. They don't allow it a chance to move. What do I mean? Well, here is what we would understand to be 3 levels, okay? You can see it's very small price action, but we would understand this area here to be a base. Rise up level 1, retrace. Rise up level 2, rise level 3, peak formation. What are we talking about? W formation, rise up, retrace level 1, rise, retrace level 2, rise, retrace level 3, peak formation, drop level 1, drop level 2, drop level 3, peak formation. Okay? Usually this is a logic for Forex, okay? Excuse me. The idea is that Sunday, okay, the markets are consolidating Sunday night, okay? Then you get Monday, you get Tuesday, you get Wednesday, midweek reversal in Forex, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, okay? You take this logic and start your week off on this, excuse me, you're gonna be on the right side of the move, okay? You look left, you've got vector candles on the imbalance zones right here, and right here. It's the most simplest concept of the hybrid system, but it's the most difficult one to effectively capture. How do you practice it? Quite simple. You can see it bright as day in front of you. Level 1, level 2, level 3. The logic says that we expect Audi to come down because it's done 3 waves of move to the upside, okay? The only way that this cycle will be invalidated and that a higher time frame cycle is being engaged is if from this point right here, Audi comes down, comes back up and sweeps this area, okay? And it would have to move quite significantly away from this zone so that it can retrace back into this area and bounce away from it. Okay? That's what you'd need to see happening. Bitcoin ETF approval will bring Audi up. It will bring everything up. Go into Solana, okay? What have you got going off here with Solana? Get rid of all this. What do we think Solana's doing? Well, let's just put the concept of the cycle with Solana right now. So, what have I got here? Solana really because I can't really get the scale right. Here we go. Here is the actual low for Solana. It's one big area and you can sort of make a W from it hypothetically, okay? Rise up, level 1. Rise up, level 2. Retrace. Rise level 3, peak formation, okay? Those are cycles, levels. How do you determine a level? A level's pretty simple. You have price, W formation. It must come from a consolidation area. Rise up, retrace, okay? Once you've got the retrace, you take the high and wait for the low to be established. A level is confirmed when price breaks the previous high and aggressively moves away from it. What's the logic? All the accumulation that's happened inside of here, trapping the retail traders to go short, they've just been liquidated. Triggering the interest from retail traders to go long at this point and encourage them to continue to go long, okay? Building more shorts, which effectively brings us to the next level, retrace. The same thing happens here, and then at the top side of the move, M formation, the same thing that's happening here, the same thing that's happening here is happening up here, but this time they've done their business, drop retrace level 1, the same thing that's happening here and here is happening right here. Drop retrace level 2, drop retrace level 3, peak formation. Okay? Now go mark off your cycles. Go and take that. Go and practice it. Now, the cycles appear on all time frames, but the bigger the cycle, the bigger the move you've got to absorb in the chart. You have to allow your capital or your trade to absorb it, because Solana, on this level 2 move to the downside, it can go all the way down towards $52 to still be deemed as a valid level 2. It's just a very deep correction, borderline reset of the cycle. It would have to stay within this level 1 zone, and it would require quite a bit of commitment to come back up. So then that's where you would see another mini cycle occurring, okay? So you might have a little W formation right here, and then like rise level 1, retrace, rise level 2, retrace, rise level 3, peak formation, drop, retrace, MW formation, drop, up it goes. And it goes in line with the cycle, okay? Here's an example right here. Shared this projection on dollar yen, okay? Look at this. At the start of the week, I anticipated dollar yen to start climbing up. Here is your level. W formation, rise up, retrace level 1, rise up, retrace level 2. Now we're expecting the move to the upside, okay? That's how we do it, all right? Now, where we at? 500 likes, what we got here? You want to understand why LTC hasn't pumped much? All right, then, let's have a look at LTC, and I'm going to get into the strategy that I want to talk to you about. LTC, USDT, here we go. Litecoin. Yeah, it's not really pumped up much. It's taken a smack, to be honest with you. Litecoin, it's just one of those, bruv. It's literally copying Bitcoin, not Bitcoin's price action, but even going on higher time frames. It's just very wavy. I mean, look at it. It's not even done much. I can agree with you on there. It's not really doing much. People might just be accumulating it. It's just one of those ones, bruv. You know? Can't really make out much. Litecoin, it's like ADA. It's there. It's behind the scenes. People pay attention to it when it goes up. No one gives a fuck if it goes down. It's one of them ones. And no one cares that it goes down, right? So you know the saying as it goes. 80% of people don't care about your problems. The other 20% are glad that you have them. Well, 80% of people don't care about ADA, but the other 20% are glad when it goes down. Okay, so that's where I'm at with ADA. Not to shit on anyone that holds ADA. I'm just having a bit of comedy with you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, then, let's get with the program. Let's talk about this block trade principle. What is the block trade? The block trade is based on the works of two people that I have studied, okay? It takes the idea of Bob Vollman and, of course, the idea of... Bob Vollman was a scalping... He specializes in scalping the tick charts, okay? And it's a mixture of Bob Vollman and Nicholas Darvas, like Jesse Livermore flavor, okay? That's why it's a block principle, but we're using the hybrid system and the vector candles to get the triggers, okay? The idea behind the block trade is simple. Marry up a vector candle which takes the top of the vector and the bottom of the vector candle. You have what would be a buy zone here, for example, and you have a sell zone right here. That's the fundamental basis of the block. But it's all about the psychology of the buy and of the sell. So, what have we got going off here? Let's go to Ethereum just to put things into perspective. This is my projection for Ethereum. I marked off the block, which takes the red vector candle up here, and that's the high of the vector, not the wick, the vector. It has to be the candlestick. And the low of the vector candle, okay? Throw it across, I've got my price point, 22,237, and then of course all the way up there, 2,278 or something. But that's the price point right there, okay? Going back into that chart, look at this. And this is the block trade, okay? Let's go back into that 1 hour red vector. Here is that candlestick. Right here. We take the high of that red vector, go across. Now we've got a zone, right? The idea behind the block is you are looking for reactions within these two zones, okay? Because that originally was an area they sold from. That is originally an area that they sold from. But we know market maker buys from those points. He's trapping retail traders short. So then when you start to study the candlesticks in correlation to it, you can see that that is a nice clean rejection. You can see that they triggered the sell-off at that point, going into that range where they sold off. The same way they came back into it, where they managed to come back up again. The idea of the block itself is to make you think before you take the trade as to what's actually happening at a specific point in the chart. Now, it's not about drawing off loads of blocks on all the vectors, but if you go back, mark my words, the guys that use the blocks, there is a magic behind it, purely on the way you perceive the move. You can't see it as range trading. It's not ranges. It's reactive. It's about if they're going to sell from this point and price is down here, I'm going to be running shorts from here. Hold on a second, Tina. You just said that up there, if it breaks that point, go long, or breaks this point, go short. Yeah, in relation to the context of what's going on. Look, red vector candle right there. It comes down, it recovers back up. Rejection of the blue vector candle at the 50 EMA. So you're not going long in this area just yet. It acts as a measure to help you work out whether you should be in a trade or not, rather than just opening a trade and hoping for the fucking best. And then you're scratching your head like, fucking hell, what's going on here? How can I, what's Bitcoin going to do, man? It's ranging sideways. I'm sick of cryptocurrency. Fuck that, I'm going to go to Forex, man. When you mark off these blocks, you are fully in tune with what is going on. Look at how it's staying inside of this range. The second it breaks away from it, because you're now getting a profile of how it's behaving here. The second it breaks away cleanly from that point, you can assume that a retrace back up, there's a good chance that the guys that sold here, the guys that sold into here, are probably going to get triggered at this point. That's how you use the block. Think of the psychology. Think of why someone's going to press this thing here. You stupid mouse. All right? Every time you take a trade, look at your mouse and say to yourself, is that a good move? Take your eyes off the chart. Make your conviction. I think Bitcoin's going to go up. Okay, look at your mouse. Come away from the chart for a split second because you're looking at that. Fuck, I need to take the trade. Oh my God, the ETF, man. I get too passionate about this. Listen, I talk about the blocks all the time, okay? You want more information on the block? Here it is. I've got a masterclass session on it, okay? A masterclass session right there on block trades, okay? Most of my setups are based on this, all right? TradersReality.com, check it out. Right, I'm gonna fulfill my end of the stick. How many likes have we got? Good question. Hold on. Good question. Tino, anything to see in correlation between these blocks and the psychological range of the past week? The psychological range and the blocks, huge confluences. Here's an example. Logic would say that that is a block right there. Psychological high, psychological low. You've already got an understanding of what the psychological ranges are anyways, okay? Just watch this. You've got a block zone here, right? If you hadn't have drawn that, all right? And I know I've drawn that because I've done projections on it, okay? Tell me why price reacts at these points. Just go back and mark off a block look at the reaction. Like this one is quite significant. Yeah, you're going to anticipate it going into that point. Why the fuck is that one important? What's so good about that? Why? Why are you stopping there, bro? Why are you stopping there and then going up? Hold on a second. Well, let's just take it back to the vector candles. Red vector candle failing to break below the 50 EMA. Stopping volume candle comes into play because market maker has been forcing traders to go short, but he's been building his longs inside of this zone and he's getting ready to start lifting price. He's already started to lift price with this. With this. That was a key zone. So when you then come to the charts and you look at this, you've got the confluences of the psychological high and the psychological low. The psychological high was already formed. So you've now got a base. Okay? When the psychological high has been achieved and the psychological low, when price at the start of the week moves aggressively away from the psychological ranges, you can bet that it's going to start coming back into the psychological ranges. What did Bitcoin do? You've heard me say it before. When was the psychological range formed? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. What'd you get? Wednesday, in line with Forex, midweek reversal. Hold on. We got a cycle here. Oh, okay. Maybe we do. W formation, rise up, retrace level 1. Rise up, very small retrace level 2. Rise up, retrace level 3, peak formation. Bang, straight back into the psychological range. So, block trades, go back in the charts and mark off any significant trade, any vector. Take the high of the vector candle, ignore the wick. But one key thing I'm going to give you. With regards to the block itself, when you see a red vector candle like this, pay attention to how price behaves. Granted that it's a move down, okay? And there's still liquidity there. Just pay attention to that zone. Because look, take this red vector, swipe across. You want to run along. The first green vector candle's come into play here, but it's a green vector candle that's pretty much gone nowhere. So you want to say, I want to go long in this point. But I don't trust it. I need to make sure that I get a clear conviction. I'm either going to run a long from this area or run a short. But let's assume that you're inside of this area here, working out if price is going to continue higher. You're still monitoring this area because you can understand that this is the same zone that they're selling from. So you might be involved in a sell order right here. Again, it's hindsight. I fucking know that. But it's the thought process that puts it into perspective for you. You'll then come to the charts and see things a little bit differently. Because it's the game of uncertainty, ladies and gentlemen. We can't do nothing about it. I can't tell you where price is most definitely, indefinitely going to go. It's all about probabilities and understanding and registering in my mind how often I've seen this play before. How often I've seen the first green vector candle above the 50 EMA. How often do I see it? How many times have I seen it? When did I come to the realization that it was something to do with the way the market maker was preparing to get away from the zone he accumulated from? Altcoins. TRB. Let's have a conversation. True. Oh. So it came back up, recovered the vector, and it's come back down again. If you did take advantage of that, happy days. Be careful. This could be ETF flavor, ladies and gentlemen. This thing could shoot all the way back up, but I believe it's another Wi-Fi story. I just think it's going to consolidate. Yeah, it's probably going to come down again. ETF will just send everything up, whatever happens. Okay? What else have we got? Does it work on every time frame? It does work on every single time frame, but you have to adjust the block to the time frame, okay? And your trades have to be based on that, all right? So if you're working on the 1 minute time frame, you can imagine how likely a block's going to work. So look, a block right here, red vector candle, okay? Go across, hold out. So now you say to yourself, okay, that's where they sold from, but they couldn't actually break down any lower. Price is starting to come up. Oh, green vector candles coming into play. I'm going to run along inside of this range if it can break it. Happy days. Rise up, retrace, factor in the retrace on the vector candle, and it moves away. A very short move. Very short move. So you've got to factor in the time frame as well. Okay. XRP. Okay, let's have a look at XRP. Back down to 57 cents. We've got an imbalance here, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a huge imbalance. It's preparation for a move to the upside, in my opinion. That's where my head's at with it. Let's have a look at Matic. Same story. I'm going through the same shit again. Let's go somewhere else. Here we go. What have we got here? IQ. Down 2.7%. DNT. Right, let's go over and have a look. IQ Tetherus. Okay, still same story. Let's have a look at ICP, USDT. Where we at? ICP. Right, okay. Doing very, very well. Very well. Remember, we marked these bad boys off. Okay, so it's managed to come down into that vector point, instantly reverse from it, come back down. Look at these two tests of the 200 EMA. That is huge. Okay, so we now look like we've got ourselves a little bit of a sort of a cycle. We have what would appear to be a structure down here, and then we've got a massive rise up, level 1, massive rise, level 2, back into the level itself. So the logic would be that we would anticipate, if the logic of accumulation is going to continue and it's not going to be too deep, anticipate it could actually go down to $10.50 before it reverses back up. So take that into consideration, ladies and gentlemen. What else have we got? Tier. Let's have a look at Tier. All right, where we at? How long we got? Oh my days. Very long live. Very long live. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I need to know. Should I do lives or should I do videos? Please type 1 for lives. Please type 2 for videos. Videos, of course, will be shorter, but lives are more engaging. Like in the stream. All right, then. Tia's made a nice flip to the upside, down into the psychological ranges, rejection of the average weekly range, back up, holding out on the 50 EMA. Right, violet vectors are coming into play over here, which is good news because it's not that much selling at the highs. All right, so I'll be expecting them by the principle of the block trade to stay focused on these two zones in the chart. Let me just have a look. What did I say? Lives, 1 for lives, 2 for videos. Or did I say 1's for videos, 2 for lives? Well, it looks like you guys want videos then. No, I'm joking. Not a long live, dude. It's only a long live when it's more than 13 hours, because that's what I used to do back in the day. Okay. All right, then. So it's what? Okay, I'll stick to it. All right. All right, so yeah, you've got yourself effectively a little bit of a block zone right here. Okay. Now, remember what I've said about the blocks, okay? There is a little bit more to it. Don't get it twisted. But the basis of it and the practice is to find the block and notice how price behaves around it. You're going to see the same thing again and again. I've proven that to you all by the vector candles. It's going to be the same shit, man. It frustrates the life out of me. It really does. This system is very simple. It is. You've just got to understand at what phase could they be in when they're executing a green vector candle from the lowest point of the range. Look fucking left. There's an imbalance. He gave money away. He borrowed it to Mr. Retail Trader because he wanted to go short on Bitcoin. All right? Bitcoin to the slums. Yeah, baby. Oops. Bitcoin's back up. They don't care. Listen, they do not care about your opinion of Bitcoin's price. They certainly don't care about mine unless I press my button, but that's a different story. And when you really get that in your head, when you kill the idea of value of Bitcoin in your mind, you will have no bias to direction. You'll only be there for movement, and you'll just slowly see your bag increasing in value. That's your sad but true fiat. Okay? Now, I know the extremists, the enthusiasts, fuck money. I'm not having any fiat, that dirty bit of paper. I'm not happy about that. You know, I bet there's a guy that walks around with a little bit of gold, and he's there with a gold cutter, and he's like shaving off the gold when he goes to the checkout. You've seen that guy's video. It's unbelievable that they didn't accept it when he went into Walmart. Fantastic, right? All right, then. Yeah, well, if you trade on the 1 second chart, bro. Actually, no. Wait a second. Listen, the block trade is on the principle of Bob Volman, okay? And that's on the tick chart, okay? It's on the tick chart. So if you're gonna, the tick charts are very, very small, all right? Now, Bob Volman was usually working around the 233 ticks and even lower than that. It's all about the wicks on the ticks. So the 1 second time frame highlights critical imbalances within short time frames, which is why you'll always ask yourself, why does price always go back to that point? All right, so just take that into consideration. Okay, then. What else have we got? Try 1 minute chart, trade on that. Hey Tino, can you look at Filecoin? Its movement looks like a lot other altcoins. Filecoin. Yeah, this is one of the few altcoins that has actually fully recovered the wick and gone back down into the range. It's a deep accumulation in my opinion, okay? So just take that into consideration. Look at this, man. This is a block trade on Filecoin that we spoke about. Go straight across, all right? Green vector from that point right there, yeah? Look at how they behave around this range. Look at where they reverse it from. Confluence of the 200 EMA and that as well, and for the nature of demonstration. For all the guys that are like, yeah, hindsight and all that shit. There you go. From that point, we know what's happened. It's the thought process, man. You're thinking, critical thinking when you get into it, okay? Where is it? Hybrid system, come on, load up. That's my cue, ladies and gentlemen. Go have yourselves a wonderful weekend. I've got nothing but love and respect for all of you. Enjoy your times at the charts, practice the block trade, check out tradersreality.com, and I will be tuning into you beautiful people on Monday for that fire starter business. Take care of yourselves, gang. It's been a pleasure.